Yeah, super happy to have you here, Carl. So why don't we just get started? Tell us how you got into this space and what excites you about the crypto space.
Yeah, so I first heard about the blockchain in around 2011. I used to hang around these computer security forums and all that. And in that community, the blockchain thing was actually coming to be quite popular in those circles, even in those early days. And so I heard about it. I started learning about it. I found it really engaging. I, I had trouble with the Bitcoin narrative of peer-to-peer cash. I felt like there were some frictions that might not be able to be resolved, but I was very excited about the underlying technology and I kept following it as I saw developments like colored coins, like Namecoin and Peercoin, which are, I'm sure, like a real throwback for some people. And eventually, I came across this project. It was a white paper at the time called Ethereum that just tied everything together and generalized the concept. And for me, this was just like, there's just like a spark of light. It was so exciting to see. And so I started following this very closely. And I was in, uh, university during the time. So 2011, all the way up, quite a few years, even as Ethereum launched, I was in graduate school and all of that. But after I finished graduate school, I had been following blockchain very closely. I had been there when a lot of exciting projects had launched, and I'd kind of built up a capital base. And I was talking with my friend Tom Bean, who was an engineer at Nokia. He'd been working at Nokia, or Here, which was a spinoff from Nokia. He had been working there for about 15 years. He had been leading teams. He had been a principal architect. He was basically this really hotshot engineer, and I had been talking to him. And as we kept talking, he expressed an interest in building something in the blockchain space. And I had been kind of nurturing this idea for a few months at that time. I had been talking to people like Stani Kulichov about it, like way back before ETHLend was even a thing. And so I wrote out the idea in full, 6 pages or so, and it was this, three-stage plan for what we could build. And basically, it was the germ of the idea of BZX. So in the first stage, our plan was to build out a peer-to-peer off-chain signaling, on-chain settlement, margin lending protocol that could be like a companion protocol to 0x and fit into the overall 0x ecosystem. The second stage of it, we intended to tokenize the positions and the loans. And the third stage of it, we wanted to work with wallet providers and dApps in order to abstract away the use of the tokens so that everybody could kind of be using our technology underneath the surface without actually having to worry about it. As you can see, we completed our first stage. We completed the second stage of the plan. We've been working on the third stage, getting I tokens and P tokens introduced to various dApps and wallets. We hit a little bit of a snag in terms of the integration sometime this year, but otherwise things have gone very well according to our original vision.